What's going on, everybody? It's Ajax, and I'm excited to bring you the exclusive look into the new League of Legends story, the MageSeeker. I had the pleasure of talking with Dani Garcia, the production manager of DigitalSunGames and game producer of MageSeeker, for a deep dive in what brought the game to life. MageSeeker is a story following Silas, a man bent on revenge for being in prison for 15 years, and takes a look into the life of the legend. We don't normally get to see this in depth. I want to quickly thank Miss Yeru for giving me the opportunity to actually get this interview in the first place from RiotForge, and without further ado, let's take a look at what is MageSeeker. So what was it that brought about the idea of this game? I mean, this is a very lore intensive franchise, obviously, but they didn't really have a lot of time with it before. Arcane kind of brought a lot of faces to it too. What's so different about this one?
Well, the idea we have in mind was, well, Riot came to us and told us that they wanted us to make a game from League of Legends using the same art style that we used on Moonlighter, which is pixel art. So we did the same with this game, but we have a fun fact here because we prepared some pitches for some ideas of the game when Silas was not yet in the market. We didn't know anything about Silas. So we prepared a game like a Kirby character who could steal abilities or something like that in the regions of Runeterra. The same day we pitched this idea, in the afternoon, Silas was released, and it was like, okay, wow. Riot has mics in our offices. So then they matched the idea with the character and let us know that it would be fine to have a game pixelated with Silas as the main character. So that's how we ended up here.
Okay.
Wow.
In this land, magic is as natural as the soil we walk on. But mages are not free. In the kingdom of Demacia, mage seekers hunt for those with magical abilities, locking them in the dark. Silas of Dreadborn, recruited by the MageSeekers as a child, was born with the power to sense magic. He saw the truth, that magic is everywhere. One day, Silas took pity on a captured mage. In that moment, he discovered the power to channel her magic. But this power was too much for a child to control. For 15 years, they locked him up. He stole magic from his only friend, Lux Crownguard, betraying her to break free of his shackles. Silas's escape has lit a spark. Will he use his power for petty revenge? Or will he start a wildfire that cannot be extinguished?
Do you know about the story of Silas?
Actually, Silas is one of them I don't know too much about, so that's a part of why I'm so interested in this.
Okay. Silas was a MageSeeker when he was a child. Well, he was used by the MageSeekers because he can detect the magic for the mages. The MageSeekers visit him and you start the game when Silas escapes from the prison.
Okay. Honestly, I think this is one of the best things about what we have here. Bringing people into this franchise is so important because obviously they've dove into the entertainment industry with Arcane.
a lot of times when you try to get an entry level for the casual audience, this is a new way to enjoy the lore behind the characters. Sometimes people just love that individual story they have. I personally didn't know too much about Silence before. Now I get to deep dive into that, which is only going to open up so many more avenues for many other characters.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know if you know about Ranking and Hextech Mayhem. The first games that RiotForge released have the same idea to bring the stories for all the people. The same with Arcane. I mean, my parents have seen Arcane, which is super cool. It's like, oh, okay, they know now something about League of Legends. So we have the same idea with Silas and the story behind him. It's for everyone. I mean.
Actually, I have a question for you, Katie. So, a lot of things when it comes to like movies, books, and everything, the most important part is the introduction, right? That very first beginning of the chapters, if you will, that draw people in. We've only just started. We've only really had cutscenes so far, but it's gotten to this point. Was there any part of it that was kind of drawing you in to want to continue up to that first mission? Like, was it, you were talking about the music a second ago?
Yeah, the music and the sound design were really engaging. It makes, even though of course I know the story of Silas and League of Legends in general, it makes me, even as someone who knows the story, want to know how are they going to take it, because the League of Legends universe doesn't really have a canon timeline, especially with these extra games. Like, that's how we get Arcane, which is an entirely different universe with these characters and different directions that you can go in. And especially with the Demacian Civil War and with the magic and stuff, it's very deep and complex, interesting lore that's interesting to really go and dive deep into. And the character of Silas being very morally gray, and it's just like, oh, do we want to side with him? Like, is the way he's doing things the right way to do because of that? So I feel like it's really fascinating.
I have to say one thing. It's super cool hearing these type of things. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's super cool.
You had a couple smirks during some of those sentences there, yeah.
Also, we have lots of props in the game that we can bring. I mean, it's...
You already know. That's like the
So
first thing.
Yeah. The follow-up to that is collectibles or anything like that?
Yeah, you have some things. I cannot spoil.
Okay, you don't need to.
Do not. You here, this ultimate, it's his basic attack. You can steal always from the other. You have the ice magic versus the fire magic, so you can use them because they have weaknesses.
Okay.
I like that.
I am always a fan as well of when that gets brought in, because whenever you bring in that rock paper scissors element to the game, it makes you have to think rather than just being able to mash your way through all the levels. This just brings me just like back to my childhood, like playing the side scroller type games and everything. Like, everybody talks about how hard like Lion King was and Aladdin and all that, but they had like their own creativity to it. But bringing back this art style just makes me feel like that kid on Christmas again that got one of those new games on the console, but in a way more modernized feel. I think it's gonna be not even just great for the storytelling, but like just the art. Like,
I totally get that feeling. No, absolutely.
Right?
I know
Like,
exactly what
it
you
has
mean.
that feel.
Yeah.
That's super cool. I mean, for us as a studio, it's like we did with Moonlighter the first game with pixels in our company. So for us, the MageSeeker is the next step. It's a natural evolution from our pixel art. So it's super cool to hear that you like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. It's obvious that most of the time developers are behind the scenes, so you don't really get to be the forefront of everything. It's all. I mean, like, y'all put people like me up on the broadcast to go talk about it, but I didn't make the game. I didn't do anything. Being able to hear like the joy that you have, so many people don't understand that, because there's a bunch of individual gamers behind the desk putting that project out that put their heart and soul underneath it. Yeah. And don't leak, people. Leaks suck, okay? But it's so important to be able to hear that, because you've been giddy on a few parts when I've heard her talking about it. That's the best part, because you're seeing the project come together, and you're seeing the passion behind super fans who are enjoying exactly that as it's going. And it's a new take. It's not the same style that we've been dealing with League for years.
That's awesome. I mean, understand that I've been with all the team. We've been like 4 years in the cave preparing the game, and now we are.
The cave is a great way to put it.
Yes. The cave. Yeah. It's like, wow, the people is enjoying what we have done. This is awesome for us. Also, we were kids 4 years ago. Now we are adults. So.
Oh, you.
But for us,
what you're saying is that
4 years? Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, so wait, so Riot has time machines hiding in the cave. Okay, all right, we're learning a lot here. This is the real reason why we're here.
To answer your question from earlier about like what my first thoughts were, I don't play games like this very often, but coming from a League background, obviously I'm invested in, okay, what am I gonna see from this? You know, I played League for about 10 years now, and I think the Easter eggs are gonna be the biggest thing with it. because
Yes.
That's my favorite part of games. I want to see like, oh, I know what this is referring to.
I
Right?
want to see Chip from Legends of Runeterra.
You also get to think about the fact that, you know, you brought up the skins.
Yeah.
A lot of times, games like this usually have some form of exclusive art or a different style to the characters that you unlock throughout the day. This creates an opportunity for exclusive art packs that you might see within the main game itself. So that creates another layer of fun opportunities that also, whether it's purchasable or not, or if you can unlock something like this, it gives people even more reason to want to play it.
Well, there's something that it's been. There's a trailer with the game and it shows that, so I can say about that. But Silas has like an unchained mode in the game, so it's like a skin. It's like Kratos with the Fury.
Okay.
Something like that. So
Oh, you
Silas-
just got a lot of my attention with that sentence. Okay.
I mean, this guy is Kratos with her. So we have this type of attack, and it's called unchained mode. We're now in the headquarters of the MageSeekers, and the goal you have, well, the objective from Silas here is to save one of the mages, which is in prison, in that prison. So you're now looking to her. Missions. You start in the middle of the mission, but you'll have new stuff. So I'm going to explain a bit, just so that you know how it works. But you will have like mana bars that you can charge hitting the enemies with physical attacks. You will have also for spells unlocked. You will see them in the pad once you enter the mission. Also, you will have the option of healing yourself with some potions.
It's very like appealing to the eye. Because most of the time I feel like sometimes you get, you know, it gets too messy, like when you're like playing.
I heavily agree with that.
Yeah, like even in League at times, you know, team fights, stuff like that, but you can literally differentiate between what's going on. I really like that.
We put lots of effort there. Also, if you see the gameplay, when Silas uses his ability, you have a different color with the same ability, just to show which one is yours and which one is from the enemy. And yeah, we have put a lot of work in mainly in the cards and the animation to show the player how many attacks are in the game.
That's very important too, because we talk about that. You want this to be accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
You want skill gaps too to have some fun with it, but that's what the higher difficulties are for. You don't want that kid to open up the game and then they can't get past the first level because there's way too much on screen and they can't figure out what they're supposed to avoid.
Yeah.
It's very noticeable. It's right there. You can see the charge up animations that are coming out, and it gives you time to respond. And it also creates potential for a high skill ceiling, like you said earlier, because I'm sure that it's not going to remain this easy to see some of these things, but it mentally will prep you for what's happening. Again, I do like the fact that it's very straightforward to what you need to avoid. Like there's no surprise, at least right now. At least right now.